get, that's kind of too big a word. That's like mayonnaise. I'm sure that's the biggest word I know.
Hello, everybody, and welcome on into the BAT MLB Player Props with Derek Carty of EVAnalytics. I'm Thomas Viola from Unabated, and it is great to be back with you on another fantastic Thursday morning here. Derek, the early season slump is over, and it's over much earlier than we had the NFL early season slump over. We're feeling pretty good after a couple weeks here on the show, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a good season overall. The tide's starting to turn here on this show specifically. We got a couple of good ones today, I think. So yeah, I'm excited.
I am excited as well. That's right. We have a couple props that we want to get to, but of course, this is a live show, and we are here for you, our live audience. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Joshua Smith saying Carty is in fuego right now. Kevin Flynn says got greedy with the social plays yesterday. Hey, it sounds like we made a little bit of money on those. And Logan Day says, let's go, boys. It's great to have y'all with us here. Don't forget, feel free to throw your plays into the chat as well. Throw in the stuff that you want to talk about. Ask us questions. We are here for you. So let's take advantage of the fact that it is a live show here. And let's make sure that we are doing just that. But in the meantime, Derek, like we said, we have a couple plays to get into. But yeah, the season is starting to take off for us. What do you think it is? Is it just the model is now we've got a little bit more of a sample size? We're catching up to the fact that the ball is basically just a rock at this point. What is going on?
I think part of it's just normal variance. I think part of it's that we have a little bit more data to work with. We have a better idea how deep pitchers are going to go into games, what kind of leashes they're going to have. Once you get a few starts on guys, especially guys who don't have, a long major league track record, it becomes easier to kind of figure out that volume, and then everything else becomes easier from there.
Yeah. Now, Logan Day in the chat wants to know, what time should I start placing bets from the Bats predictions? So not necessarily just the stuff that we talk about on the show, but just if you're going to be placing bets on Major League Baseball. I'm going to defer to you on this one because my personal belief is as soon as you can, because this isn't basketball. I like to wait on basketball until especially during the regular season when you have so many questions of who's in, who's out, all of that. It's not as big a deal in baseball, and you're able to get away with a lot more. So you want to take advantage of the less efficient lines earlier, right?
Yeah, I'd say 80 to 90% of the time, the answer is bet as early as you can before the lines move. There's some exceptions, like certain hitter props, like guys who don't have a firm spot in the batting order. Like sometimes they're at the top, sometimes they're at the bottom. You don't want to make a bet on a hitter and then have him be in a completely different spot than you were expecting. That can kill your value. But otherwise, getting in early before the market moves is the right call.
Yeah, that feels like the way better option when it comes to baseball versus basketball. That's the only sport where I'm really worried about that. Like football, I'm making my plays Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even earlier in the week if I want to. Timing is most important in my opinion. Like timing it and betting closer to tip off is really only important in NBA in my eyes, but take that with a grain of salt because it's just coming from me here. But like you mentioned, we've got some pitchers that we've been catching up to here, and let's catch up to one with our first prop of the day. We're going to Ronal Blanco. And where are we going?
We're looking at his under 4.5 strikeouts. The best line is actually, if you look real quick, at Bet365. They have plus 130 right now, so that's going to be your best line. But if we pop back over to the simulator, plus 116 at Rivers is still good. FanDuel's plus 112. This is one that projects it doesn't project like as massive value. Like this is one where the bat's projecting pretty close to 4.5 strikeouts, about a 55% win rate. So the closer you get to even money, the less appealing this one becomes. But if you can get it, plus 130 is really good. Plus 116 is fine. Once you start getting close to, like this 103 here, I don't think I'd be in on that.
Yeah, you really want to. And we've talked about it plenty of times on this show. Everyone's going to be tired of hearing it, at least from our regular listeners. We're pernicious about price. Because price is the only thing that really matters when it comes to these. We're not coming on here on this show and saying, oh, hey, we like I don't think Blanco is going to get 5 strikeouts today.
He's just not going to be able to do it. Like, there's no way he can get 5 strikeouts against this Yankees team. Like, we're never going to say that.
Exactly.
Like, there's a chance.
Thing is
There's
about
always a chance he's going to go under, and it's really just a matter of figuring out that probability and comparing it to the odds. And in the long run, you make money doing it that way.
exactly. Like, that's how we approach props here. Is we're never looking at it and we're saying like, oh, well, the Yankees don't really strike out and they manage to get through pitchers really quickly. We're not. That's not how we break down props. That's not how you build your projections. The thing that matters and the thing that gets you an edge and what makes good betting is any time where the price you bet is better than the price that it should be. It's like if we are flipping a coin back and forth, it's my favorite analogy to use. If we're flipping a coin back and forth and I say, hey, I'll give you plus 110 on every flip, you don't even have to think about heads or tails because you know you have an edge. The challenge in sports betting is finding that coin flip price. And if this one's at around even money, then okay, you don't really want to take it. But if you get it at plus 130, it's a great bet there. Logan Day also wants to know, so would you say for hitters to wait for official lineups?
It depends on the hitters. I mean, you're not usually going to be finding value on stars anyway who have those firm lineup positions. But if you're betting on them, you're betting on, Yordan Alvarez or Ronald Acuna, like, where they're going to hit in the lineup. You can bet them early. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You want to wait on official lineups for guys that are not in the same lineup spot from day to day. Sometimes they hit leadoff. Sometimes they hit ninth. Sometimes they hit seventh. Like, those are the guys where it might be worth it to wait just to make sure, like, okay, I'm betting his under because I think he's going to hit ninth. And all of a sudden he's hitting leadoff and he gets a full extra at bat and your value's just ruined.
Yeah. And that's what you really want to watch out for there, because especially with betting on baseball, you're only getting what, 3, 4, maybe 5 plate appearances in a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, if you're betting hitter props, there aren't that many opportunities. It's not like basketball where you've got 100 possessions in a game and you're going to have so many chances and so many opportunities. So these opportunities become such a huge deal, and you do got to factor that in a lot more in baseball.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, Waylon nicely bet all of the Carty picks as fast as possible. Price is going to dive.
It's the truth.
Yeah, it is not wrong at all. I mean, like, we've seen some markets move on this show, especially when we were doing football season. Prices would plummet. It's a good feeling knowing we can move a market or two. But let's see what market we're moving next here, Derek. What is coming up on our docket for this next play? I know that we only have 2, so guys, throw your stuff in. If you have questions for us, now is the time to get it in so that we have a little bit of banked up once we get done talking about this play here.
Yep. So we are looking at Garrett Hampson under half a hit. I think, unless the lines have moved, I think there was a better line somewhere. Oh yeah, 365 has plus 140, but the plus 135 here at DraftKings is still fine. What else do we have available? Caesars plus 112, not quite as good, but I think there is another. Let me see. I think MGM has a 135. So I think ESPN has a 120. That's fine. So there's a number of books you can find this one at. Garrett Hampson is a guy who, kind of a prospect that never panned out. He's a cast off from the Rockies, couldn't even really hit in Coors Field. Facing a good pitcher today in Reed Detmers. He is a righty facing a lefty, so that's going to benefit him in the at-bats he has against Detmers, but Detmers is a good pitcher. And once the bullpen comes in, Hampson has a 51% chance of getting pinch hit for today, according to the bat. So we talked about volume before. This is one where, the market isn't really accounting for the chance that he's going to lose volume because he's going to come out of the game. So that's one of the big hidden edges that I like to find. I think hitting this here with Hampson is a good spot. He's a righty. There's plenty of righties in the bullpen. This is a good one.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to playing hits like this, you're playing with a lot higher of a variance market because you're talking about such a low occurrence thing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is one where, this projects to win 55% of the time. Like, you're not going to win this every time you bet it. you're going to bet a bunch of these over the course of the year. And if you're watching the show, I tend to give a bunch of these out. And you're going to win more than you lose, and you're going to win a lot when you win. We're usually getting these type of plays at good plus money.
Yeah. And that is like that is what we're doing here. Like you're going to see your record as we see it already falling at DraftKings. We're already down 10 cents there. When it comes to your record on these plays, because especially you're hitting them at like plus 130, plus 140, God forbid, if you ever take a minus over on a hit, what do you do? If you ever see one of those, just don't.
I don't think I've ever seen that project for positive value.
Yeah, there is no possible way. But your break-even percentage is lower than 50%. So you could be potentially 3-7 through 10 of these and
Still
be profitable.
Yeah, you can.
And that's something to really watch out for when it comes to these, because again, we aren't trying to predict, oh yeah, this guy's going to get a hit. We're not swinging for the fences and trying to hit every single one of these hit props. We're just looking for the spots where we have that value. And if you play it out over the course of a very long Major League Baseball season, that's where it's going to come into play and help you out here.
That's an important lesson, like especially for newer bettors. Like you see so many like bad touts out there being like, oh yeah, I hit 70, 80, 90% of my picks. It's like, first, no, you don't. And second, win percentage doesn't matter. Like if someone it matters how much money you're going to make. Yeah. If you're hitting 80% and you're betting, minus 1,500 bets, like you're losing money. Like it just, without the context of what you're betting, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And that's one of the tricks that a lot of tout services use, where there'll be a guy who's like, oh yeah, I'm hitting it like 80, 85%. First off, no. And second off, well, if you are, let's look at what it is that you're hitting on, because you're definitely playing a whole bunch of insanely juiced favorites that you don't really want to have action on. Logan Day has another good question for us. I've been trying to bet on home runs with positive EV, 4% or more, and I'm down as of now. Do you guys have any advice for home run plays? And Joe Bim says, stay away from home run plays, ? That would be my biggest piece of advice. Derek, like I obviously really want your input as far as using the bat projections for home runs, but even when you're finding plus EV on them, first off, 4%, if you're doing that 4% from the unabated screen, up that to like 20%. That's my number one piece of advice there. My number two piece of advice, I don't know the last time I've seen a properly priced home run bet, Derek.
Yeah, there's on occasion, like, can you pop the screen back up? I just pulled up the simulator. So every once in a while, you'll find one that shows decent value. Like this Jock Peterson one today is showing good value. But after that, the next best is 20 and it quickly falls into single digits. Like home runs are one where they're very popular. So the books don't have to set fair lines with them. A lot of books don't even have to give you the under option, so they can hide some hold in it. And it kind of fluctuates from year to year. Like some years, last year, there was a good amount of value on home run props despite everything else. But the run environment was higher. This year, the run environment's down. It's like the books, like it's just not priced in. And so there's just no value on home runs this year, really. So as much as fun as they can be, my advice would probably be like, maybe you can hit the Jock Peterson one and the ones that show up like this on occasion. But for the most part, if you're trying to be profitable, you just have to find the markets where they're actually giving you value.
Yeah, like we talk about hits being a high variance market, home runs is an even higher variance market here. And like just to show you an example on it, real quick, go to American odds and change that to probability real quick. On the right there. So like we're looking at right now, the way DraftKings or the way FanDuel's got the best price here, and they're saying Jock Peterson's going to hit a home run 18.87% of the time. That's the odds that they're giving us here. Now, if I go and look up Jock Peterson home run stats for 2023, he had 15 home runs. And like, let's break that down. Like, and he was a designated hitter here. Like, let me see Because if I take the 15 home runs, and how many at bats did he have on the year?
I'd have to pull his numbers
Yeah.
up.
Like I'm just trying to look like if you let's say
I can tell you because I have a projection today. The bat projects him to hit a home run today 23.4% of the time, which more likely to lose than win. It is about 5% higher than FanDuel's giving you, so it's good. It's good value, but it's not a lock. It's far from a sure thing.
And like that's the thing there. Like he had 15 home runs, and if we extrapolate that over, like they're saying that he's going to hit a home run once every 5 games. And even if you just assume that he played every single game last year, like doing the quick mental math there, he hit a home run once every 10 games. Like, yes, it does vary. It does vary based on like weather and environment. Like there are factors that can change the line and make a home run bet a good bet on the surface. But like right here, last year, this dude hit a home run, averaged a home run every 10 games, and he's priced as if he's going to hit one every 5. Like that's what we're looking at.
And it's a good matchup today. Like he's in the best home run park in baseball. Like there are things working in his favor that make the projection higher than what he's actually done.
Yeah.
But like, right now these opportunities are kind of few and far between.
Yeah. And that's what you really got to watch out for and look out for there. But hey, I'm glad that we were able to have this conversation. We were able to have a good conversation about home runs and win percentages and the things that you got to factor in when you're looking to bet these props here. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, throw us any other plays you have, anything that you want us to talk about. We are here to help you, but otherwise, we're going to start getting into our spiel and start heading out of here. Derek, I know you are very busy with the SBC conference in New York. Having a good time?
Yeah, it's been fun. Last night they brought us to the Red Bull soccer team stadium, and they had us like on the field doing like soccer drills and stuff. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome! You saw you probably saw my buddy Steve Pastorino. Then I was actually out here in Vegas. I was over at the Open Cup game between the LAFC and the Lights. Made a little bit of money on that over. The Lights lost 3-1, but it was very funny feeling because yesterday in the Champions League, Alphonso Davies scored a goal for Bayern. And I thought about, while I was sitting there in Cashman Field, this dumpy old baseball stadium turned soccer stadium in Vegas, I thought, I watched that same guy score a goal in this stadium, and now he's scoring Champions League goals for Bayern in the Bernabeu. It was absolutely absurd. Logan says, thank you guys so much. Bill M has answered the call for questions, and he's looking at win. He's looking at win strikeouts on this one. Win strikeouts under 4.5. What is your projection? Brett Solomon said, while you look that one up, Brett Solomon says, just Blanco and Hampson, right? Want to make sure I didn't miss any. Yes, just those two. That is what we've got for you today, Brett. So here we go. We're looking at Keaton Wynn.
Yeah, Keaton Wynn looks like no value here. I mean, he is in Coors Field, which suppresses strikeouts, but the Rockies strike out a lot. He got rocked in his last start and came out early. I mean, there's a chance he doesn't go as long today because of that, but I think he'll probably have a normal leash. This just looks like a fair number.
Yeah, that like it's been very. Has it been? Have you had some struggles betting on? Have you had some struggles dealing with the fact that the Rockies are in a fantastic hitting park but haven't been hitting this year?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, like it's definitely been tough because like we talk about that too. We remember Damian Pierce. We kept betting on his overs because his usage to efficiency just wasn't matching up, and we were due for positive regression. I feel like we're getting the same thing with the Rockies here.
Yeah, that could definitely be the case. I mean, they're definitely a bad team, but even a bad team in Coors should play like a good team.
Yeah. Brandon Leach says, what about Blanco under 16.5 outs?
We can go over to EVAnalytics and look at that one. I liked his hits allowed under, I think, the next most if you don't get in on that strikeout line.
Mm-hmm. By the way, just a little tease for the future. You won't have to go to EVAnalytics for that one for much longer.
Oh, I like to hear that.
Yeah,
so yeah, here's his hits allowed. Where's our best number? Oh wow, Betway's 5.5 minus 160, but I think the 4.5 plus 130 here at Bet365 looks good as well. let's look at his outs. Yeah, so the outs under looks pretty good here too. The bat doesn't see him on average quite making it to 5 innings. He's got to pitch into the 6th based on this. So, yeah, I don't have a problem taking his outs prop here.
There you go. John Trong has another conceptual question for us here, following up on what we were talking about. He says, so if your hit rate percentage is over the book's odds, it's a plus EV play. I think it depends on what you define as your hit rate percentage there, right? Like,
basically, you want your projected chance of winning to be higher than the implied chance given by the line.
Yeah, like that's the challenge. The challenge in sports betting, like I said, going back to that coin flip, we know a coin flip's true price. Like we know that that's supposed to be 50-50. The challenge with sports betting isn't finding the best price, although yes, obviously always find the best price. But the challenge with sports betting is figuring out what the fair price on a bet should be. Like on the unabated main screen, the way we do that is through the unabated line. With props, we're using projections. In this case, the projections that Derek brings out from the BATX. And we're using that to base and inform our decision and say, okay, well, we are using this as our source of truth. We are saying Derek is right, and his projection says that the true odds should be this. Then we take that projection, we take those true odds, and we go over to we go over to the sports books and we say, okay, let's find places where we get a better spot than that. And that is what makes a play plus EV. Tyler Jackson wants to know Gilbert under 17.5 outs at plus 155.
Let's take a look. Gilbert. Yeah, so this is one where there is value, but the 17.5s are always going to be riskier because all he has to do is complete the inning. He doesn't have to go back out for the next one, but you're getting paid if he doesn't. 155 is a good number for a spot that I can look up the win percentage. I guess it's probably close to a 50-50 shot here. Let's see. Yeah, 55%. So 55% at plus 155 is pretty good.
Yeah, like you're getting good value there, and that's why that's what makes that a good play. Mark W wants to know Sonny Gray under 17.5 at plus 155.
This is one I know the bat likes this under. I'm a little hesitant to bet this one myself. Yeah, I mean, it's a similar thing. It's a 17.5. It's the plus 155. It's going to be close to a coin flip. Sonny Gray last year was on a team that used him differently than I think the Cardinals are going to use him this year. And the bat's accounting for it a little bit. But like the Twins were very conservative with their pitchers, whereas I think the Cardinals, they're going to let him have some 110, 115 pitch games this year. Like it's coming. I think there's probably still value here, but it's not my fate. I don't like it as much as the projections do.
Yeah, and that's interesting. Like what can make you look at a play and just be like, I'm not trusting my projections here. And I'm not saying that you're not trusting them, but just, making you hesitant.
I mean, it's just kind of, I guess, like domain expertise, just kind of like knowledge of having done this for so long and knowing what certain things look like and knowing what goes into the projections, what maybe it's not capturing as well as it could. I mean, no projection system is going to be perfect. Like there's an old saying, all models are wrong, some are useful. I think the bat is very useful, but like it's not perfect. So there are other things that you can consider that will maybe add to your edge a little bit.
Dan Carlson says, how are you calculating win rate?
I'm calculating that on the back end, basically. Pretty much using something similar to the simulator that you guys have access to at Unabated, but kind of using historical projections and historical distributions and figuring out how often it should hit based on that.
Yeah. So all of that is baked into the projections. Like once you come to EVAnalytics or once you come to Unabated, like that all gets baked in and shown to you in your edge like that.
Yeah.
So you don't truly need it. Although if you go back to the Unabated screen, like what it will show for NBA, it shows you like if you would go to a line, there'd be an option to hit the plus sign and convert it to how did that work? Yeah, that did work. Like it shows you, hey, it shows you what the percentage should be there. Like 50, like if you want to change it back to American odds real quick. Like see, it shows you there, like BetMGM has this line at over 4.5 minus 105. And then if you hit that plus, it converts the projection from showing you the edge to, hey, this is what the price should be based on the projections that we're putting in. So it gives you the answer to the question rather than just having to calculate win rate, because the next thing that you need to do is say, okay, what's my expected win rate versus the win rate of this bet? It does all of that for you so that you're all good to go. But ladies and gentlemen, I mean, we've had some great questions today. Speak now or forever hold your peace. If you've got some final plays that you want to get in and talk to us about, I will vamp for a few minutes to let you get them in. But Derek, it's been a great conversation. We've talked about some props, but I'm glad that we've gotten to get a little bit more into process here today. I think that's always the best thing that we can do. And I know everybody, like, you want to say, hey, like, well, what are the picks? But it's good to talk about how things work and how we think about these. As Nicholas Calixte says, so should we be more cautious with most under 17.5 outs? It's a key number at the very least.
It's a key number. You just need to be aware of what you're betting.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be tough when he's out there in the 6th inning and you're like, oh, I hope he gets pulled. I hope he gets pulled. And he finishes the inning and then he's done. And you're like, oh, I missed it by half an out. Like that's just at those key numbers. That's going to happen a lot.
Yeah. Like it's important to pay attention to those because he says that a lot of them have been showing value on the BATX these past few days. Well, like we said, a lot of these are going to be around 50-50-ish and you're going to get them priced a little bit better. So yeah, you should be finding a little bit of value, right?
Yeah. That's all it comes down to.
Mm-hmm. All right, but ladies and gentlemen, it's been a good half hour here. I have had a great time. Derek, I know that you have a busy day in front of you back in New York. Be sure to go and stop by Asparo and pick up a good New York slice for me, will you?
Will do.
But for now, I think that is going to do it for us here on the Bat. We will be back, of course, next Thursday, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time. As always, thank you guys so much for being with us. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And thank you so much for being here with us, as always. You guys are the reason we do the show. Without you, the show doesn't happen. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for all the comments. Really, that is what keeps us going. That's what keeps the show going. So thank you so much for being here with us. We're excited for next week already, but let's keep the hot streak going right now. Let's hit some plays today. Of course, don't forget, you can use the BATX with Unabated. You can use the Unabated prop simulator. Just sign up today at unabated.com. The BATX comes to you in our very easy, handy dandy drop down menu. All you need is a BATX subscription here, and the numbers are going to preload in for you. It is a fantastic way to get some value for some bang for your buck and some great value. It's two great things that go great together like cookies and cream here. And there's even a link so that you can purchase your BATX subscription directly through the Unabated page. We make it as easy as possible for you to link your accounts so that you can use both of these together. But thank you so much for being with us. One more thing, of course, check the link in the description of this video. There's that link to go and get your subscription to the BATX. There's also a link to sign up for a one-on-one demo to see all of the tools that Unabated has to offer. And guess what? That one-on-one demo, you're going to be sitting down in a Zoom call with me. So I hope you like me because that's what's going to be going on. I'll walk you through the tools personally, show you how they work, talk to you about how I use them, how some other people use them, and help you get started on the journey to plus EV betting. But for now, that's going to do it for us. Best of luck, everybody, this week. Thank you again so much for being here. And as always, let's cash some tickets. We'll see you next week, folks. Have a good one.